Open English. Fluidez gramática. Gerunds and infinitives. A gerund is a noun made from a verb by adding ing. You can use a gerund as the subject, the complement, or the subject of a sentence. Examples: reading helps you learn English. In this case, we can use the gerund as the subject of the sentence. Her favorite hobby is reading. Here we use it at the gerund as a complement of the sentence. I enjoy reading, object of the sentence. Gerunds can be negative by adding not. Examples: he enjoys not working. Then we have the best thing for your health is not smoking. These are examples of using negative gerunds. Infinitives are the two forms of the verb. The infinitive form of learn is to learn. You can also use as infinitive as the subject. The complement or the subject of a sentence. As the subject of the sentence is more difficult to choose between a gerund or an infinitive, in such situations, gerunds and infinitives are not normally interchangeable. Usually, the main verb in the sentence determines whether you use a gerund or you use an infinitive. An example is like, he enjoys swimming. Enjoys required a gerund, so we got to add it. He wants to swim. Wants requires an infinitive. Both gerunds and infinitives can be used as the subject or the complement of a sentence. However, as subjects or complements, gerunds usually sounds more like normal spoken English. Infinitives sound more abstract. In the following sentence, gerunds sound more natural and will be more common in everyday English. Infinitives emphasize the possibility or potential for something and sound more philosophical. If this sounds confusing, just remember that 90% of the time you will use a gerund as the subject or the complement of a sentence. Examples: learning is important. Here, normal is the subject. To learn is important. Here we have an abstract subject that is less common in the cases of the gerunds. The most important thing is to learn. Here we get an abstract complement and is less common. As the object of a sentence, it is more difficult to choose between a gerund or an infinitive. In such situations, gerunds and infinitives are not normally interchangeable. Usually, the main verb in the sentence determines whether you use a gerund or an infinitive. Examples: he enjoys swimming. Enjoy requires a gerund. He wants to swim. Want requires an infinitive. Some verbs are followed by gerunds as subjects. Examples: she suggested going to a movie. Mary keeps talking about her problems. Some verbs are followed by infinitives. Examples: she wants to go to the movie. Mary needs to talk about her problems. Gerunds can often be modified with positive forms such as his, her, its, your, their, are. This makes it clear who or what is performing the action. Examples: I enjoyed their singing. They were singing. She understood his saying no to the offer. He said no. Sam resented Debbie's coming late for dinner. He says that Debbie came late to the dinner. Some verbs are followed by a noun plus an infinitive. In some situations, the noun is required. In some other situations, the noun is optional. Some verbs are usually followed by a gerund, but they can also be followed by a noun plus infinitive. Using a noun plus infinitive will usually change who is performing the action. Example: I advise taking the train. he's talking in general. There are many go plus gerund expressions used for adventure sports and individual recreational activities. Examples: I do swimming every weekend. Would you ever go skydiving?